Yo, what's going on, guys? Jared here. Today I wanted to talk about a little bit of a deck that I'm making for a lot of fun, and I have a match to show you at the end of the deck and how powerful it is and how good it is. And the deck that we're going to be talking about today is Mitsurugi. Now, Mitsurugi is a deck that a lot of people have only been playing with Ryzeal. You don't see other versions with it. Maybe you'll see like Nadir Servants being played, but a lot of the times it's King of the Feral Imps Abuse into with Eclipse Twins to be able to get it back and search again. And especially with Ryzeals. Like, Ryzeal is definitely the main way of playing the deck, and I am not a fan of that. To be quite honest, now that YCS Orlando is over, I am really not a fan of playing both Malice and Ryzeal. Neither of those decks really resonate with me well, with me as a player. I just don't find them fun to pilot, which is really sad. So it's coming to me to find more fun and intuitive ways to play the game, and it makes me a little bit happy to be able to experiment with other things now that my competitive sense is over, because I don't plan on going to events maybe until like Providence, but we have plenty of time for that. So what I ended up doing was making something closer to pure Mitsurugi as much as it could be. And the way I'm doing that was with the original stuff that I played when the cards first got announced, which was the Sinful Spoils cards ages ago. Now, I have gotten a lot of requests on that video to make a deck profile for that, but I was so busy with YCS Orlando that I really didn't want to put that much time into doing it, and now I finally have a list that I like where I can give it to you guys and kind of break down why I like it, especially give you a match against someone on Dueling Book who's like at least very high rated. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and actually jump into the profile and subscribe if you enjoy. Okay, so like I said, this is like a pure version of Mitsurugi, and this really does go off of the sentiment of like, if you resolve Mitsurugi Ritual, you essentially just win because you have access to literally everything, and it's insane. So we are playing 3 of the big guy. This guy doesn't seem that good on paper, and then like you play with him and he's just disgusting. It's wild how good this card actually is, and that same applies to the other ritual, which I thought I had 3 of in person. Apparently I don't, so I have the proxy one. But yeah, three of this ritual. This guy is also just insane. He's like so much follow-up. It's ridiculous how strong he is. So yeah, like full 6 rituals. It's okay if you draw multiple. It's completely fine. It is actually, it's just weird. Like, you just want to see Mitsurugi cards, and it's fine if you do, because you just want to resolve rituals. So you don't want them, you don't want their imperms to be able to stop stuff. You don't want their ash to be able to stop stuff. Your bestials, you just want to be able to just kind of raw open up, or at least be like 1 card off of ritual plus ritual spell, so that you can play through things like Droll, and things like hand traps and bestials and stuff like that. And then for the other monsters, we have 3 copies of Saji and then 2 copies of Kusanagi. This is fine for like normal summon stuff. You really don't have like a broken designated normal summon. It'd definitely just be Saji. I'll put the Serpent here too as like a normal summon, because that's pretty much what it is. But overall, this is like completely fine. You don't really break on them. If you draw 1 or 2, it's okay. Keep in mind that if you draw 2 of these, you can use the ritual spell or ritual summon from deck 2. That's also really important. Yeah, so this has like been fine. Like, the problem with the Ryzeal deck, in my opinion, is that you play such a minuscule Mitsurugi package. You can actually run out of gas because you're so dependent on Kusanagi to like keep that engine going. Whereas in this deck, you have so much and you can flourish so easily that you can literally just go crazy. Like, you don't have any limitations. It feels like it's ridiculous. So it's just something really, really cool. And it's something very important is that all of these trigger off of Sinful Spoils Deception. That is like the main thing. So like, if you tribute any of the rituals, you can search for any Mitsurugi from your deck to your hand. If you tribute Sanji, even this triggers, or it should be able to trigger if I remember right. It's just if it's tributed or no more special, yeah, you can add a Mitsurugi spell. And then if you tribute this guy, it's the same thing. If it's no more special or tributed, you can add a Mitsurugi card from your graveyard or banishment to your hand. So yeah, that's like such a good synergy to have, especially when the Sinful Spoils package is so investment required. Of course, we have 3 copies of Ritual and 3 copies of the Prayers, and then the 1 trap card. I was skeptical about playing this card, but then like, I don't know, I just read this card again. I'm like, this card's just broken. Like, there's just no way I'm not playing this card. It's ridiculous. It's definitely a 1 of though. You never play more than 1, because what you want to do is, obviously, you search it on turn 1. On your opponent's turn, you use it to negate something. On your turn, you use the graveyard effect to banish or revive something, and then you use Kusanagi to get back the purification again and set it for your opponent's turn again. Just make sure just something to keep in mind. You can only use 1 effect per turn. That's why you have to do it in that way. That's the optimal way of doing it. So you do negate on their turn, graveyard effect effect on your turn and then negate on their turn again. But of course, if they just don't play into it enough or you don't use this, like you just won the game, right? Because now you have like an interruption for like if they have a hand trap or something, and you can just put pressure on very easily because this thing's 3,200 and you can just kill them so fast. So that's it for the Mitsurugi cards, in the main deck at least. And then for the other engine, of course, like I said, is the Azamina. So we are playing 3 Witch, 3 Deception, and 3 Wanted, and then the 1 Hollowed. There's an argument to playing the other one. There's like a Trap Azamina card, or a Trap Sinful Spoils, I should say. That's like a Book of Moon. That's like definitely a good card. The Quick Play Azamina spell is also good to be able to fusion at different times, but for now, this is okay. This is still like pretty early on in testing, but it's just been working great, so I just wanted to show it. But like obviously you want to see these cards, like you want to see both these engines, and we see them together. It's just so good. Like you just end like in a format where people are not ending on Omni negates. You kind of end on like 3 between Purification, Ame, and Silvera, which is like almost unheard of. And then you still have the benefit of being able to make like the rank 4 engines, like things like Dweller, right, are obviously broken in this format, and you still can do that. That's what's like crazy. So yeah, like this package is so good, like it really is, and it's like such a long game. You get the deceptions back. Yeah, overall, it's really really strong. There's an argument to playing another one of these though, or the quick play, like I said, just because with Bystial's popularity, you don't want this stuck in the graveyard. But it is good that what's it called? A lot of the times you just kind of go straight into Silvera. You don't even make Ryzeal because you just don't need it. Like you literally just go Sylvia and then just Ritual, and then you just go, because again, like it's not about these are just like supporting engine. Like you just want to resolve Ritual, that's the main thing. And then again, like everyone's been saying it, if you resolve Mitsurugi Ritual, you should just win the game. So literally all it is. And then for like the quote-unquote non-engine slots, 3 Metaltronus, 2 Talents, 3 Allure, and 3 Imperm. So very minimal. Like obviously, like this is a lot of engine in a deck, but the Allure helps you find like all of this stuff, and cards right now don't interact with these well, like at all. So if you get this going, like you're just fine. So that's why Allure's in here. Like obviously, you can Wanted for Witch and use extra witches. You can use any of these because you have so many names, it doesn't even matter. Plus he can recycle names from the banish too, which is really important. And then also I use these two specifically. Imperm's just good for going first or going second, so it's just like a very standard choice, but it doesn't have to be Imperm. This could be other things, but for now, Imperm's fine. It's like a good 6-card draw too, so I'm just rocking with it. Metaltronus. This card just works the best into the Ryzeal and Malice matchups. So a lot of the times, the Ryzeal players, I'll just show you in the extra deck, I guess. So before I even actually get into that, because that's just the whole extra deck discussion. But yeah, that's it for the main deck. And then Talents is obviously just like, it's just Talents, like it's just broken. Like they're gonna throw cards at you to try to stop you from getting the Ritual, but with how many ways you have to get to it in this deck, it just feels like literally insane. It's actually just kind of broken. And it's very consistent too. I have not been working on this deck because again, if you're just getting into even Deception plus Ritual, it's fine. Drawing the level 4s is fine because they're actually your normal summons in this deck. Like it's just so good. Like you can even pitch a Ritual for Deception, and then you can get Kusanagi, and then Kusanagi just add back that Ritual too. So it's either like they're really dead in the water and they're in the graveyard. It's so good. For the extra deck, the actual Azamina cards, we play the 3rd copy, and by the 3rd copy I mean this guy. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce this, but this is the pop one. Oh, send one, I should say, because that's super relevant because you detonator obviously can protect itself. Yeah, it just doesn't do that. It's also huge, and if he sets on the field, it becomes more of a problem, because it adds back the Azamina cards from the graveyard. So you just get a lot of value off this. Obviously, these are standard. Sylvia is just broken. Like, this is just literally a negate. It's ridiculous. Especially, this card's getting better and better because they keep designing the format based around that there's no Omni negates. And when you get to play an Omni negate, which is broken, so especially with this and the trap card, it just feels ridiculous because compared to, like, everything else, like, it's just wild. It just feels wild. Like, a lot of the times, like, this sounds so stupid, but it's just true. It'll be like, they go like X, sword, and then you like, we'll say you blow it up with the ritual spell, with the ritual monster. So you blow up those 2 monsters with that. Then they go like ice, you can just trap it, and then like they're pretty much just done. Like they can't do anything else. Like they have to have like node or something like that, and then you still have this for like nonsense cards, things like talents and stuff like that. And that's not even including like you know, his other effect to be able to rip a card, the other advantage that you're getting, you know, anything like that, Metaltronus, Imperm, like things of that nature. Like you still have other things too, and it's not even just them like obviously like they can crack the board, right? Even like they could have like a bunch of board breakers and crack the board, but the main thing and the main power of this deck comes from the crackback, because you also have this guy sitting here. So you're going to be using him to get back Saji, to get back Kusanagi. You're going to be tributing these on your opponent's turn. You're going to be getting all these cards. You're going to get back to Ritual, another Ritual monster in hand. You're going to get back to multiple prayers. You're going to have so many things. So like even if they break the board, you are and like you're also getting back Deception in the end phase and be able to get back Hollow Azamina if this goes to the graveyard. So if it's cracked, you just do it again, and they can't stop you. It's just too many things. Like you literally have to get Drolled. It's the only thing that stops this deck. It's the obvious downfall of this deck. Things like Droll and Shifter. But like, man, if they're not playing them, they are so cooked, because they can't kill you. Especially Ryzeal. Ryzeal just cannot kill. Especially with like the amount of bodies you throw on the board with this deck, they won't be able to kill you. And then we have SP Little Knight, IP Masquerena. These are just kind of like general end board pieces, because sometimes you have like Rusiago, D-Bellstar, and some other things that you just need to like turn into actual value bodies, and these are completely fine. Wizardos, because it's a draw card, and you could also just turn it into, you know, literally anything. I like this card a lot. And then Shanida, the Reptilian. So you can use this as going second. With like, because it's only a reptile including a monster including a reptile, and you can actually use this as a search going second. So you can like make one of their guys 0, and then get a free search off this card going second, and you can use like a negated Sanji with like a Dia-Bellstar or something, and then that can still get into I'll play, right? Like you're still able to search for like maybe a ritual monster that you need if you have the ritual, or something like that. Like there's lines with it that I really like. Going second purposes. Keep in mind, I think the extra can definitely be changed, because like I want something to do with Wizardos if I get rid of it, because a lot of times it's just like Wizardos and the SP, or like something like that. And if I use this, like I can't even go back in my extra deck. I'm just locked out of it. So yeah, any suggestions I'm always open to. And then for other cards in the extra deck, we have King of the Feral Imps and Dweller for rank 4s. That's literally it. I don't think you need anything else. These are just the two best rank 4s. Of course, being able to search any reptile is insane. And then Dweller, again, like no Fiendsmith, no X sending, no Twins of the Eclipse, none of that stuff. Like just turn it all off. I don't want to deal with it. So really good. Almost a turn skip for a lot of these decks. Next up is actually just like Metaltronus targets, essentially. We have like so many cards for this. So we have Aggregator and White Binder for Malice. So if you go second, a lot of the times, not a lot of times, but some of the times, they'll set up their board where they cannot, or they get greedy and they have like GWC in the White Binder. And if they're trying to go like White Binder, banish the White Rabbit to then set the other trap that banishes, you can chain Metaltronus on the White Binder, banish it face down, it's gone for good, they never get it back, and then like that itself makes their grind game so much worse. But in the same vein, you might be able to turn off all their interruptions with it if they play it too greedily. So it's just like, this was just the one that I found to be the most important. And then for Ryzeal, of course, we play the one detonator, but also we play the actual Galaxy package in this. So this should be Galaxy Cypher Dragon. I do not own that card in real life right now, but Galaxy Cypher Dragon is the correct choice, not this one. Cypher Dragon's way better because you can actually make the rank 8s by using 2 of the ritual monsters, which actually comes up, very important. They're both level 8, so you can actually make Cypher Dragon. Use the effect to take one of their guys, and then you can slap these over the other guy that you took so they don't get it back, and you still get the pops, and yeah. So it's actually like really strong. But you can also just go Metaltronus, target Detonator, summon this guy out. Detonator's negated, summon full armor, effect, target the cross, they have to negate it. Then you summon Cypher Blade, effect, target the cross again, and then that just deals with everything. And then you can just go in the like Little Knight, banish Detonator, there's nothing in graveyard for Eclipse, and then you're just good to go. So just something to keep in mind. So yeah, that's it for the extra deck. I think this could probably change. There's definitely things in here that can move around, because like, again, like I want something like, I would like just like another link, like a big link that's good to go into, I guess. Like these 4 don't feel like enough, I guess. Especially Wizardos. Like I want something to go from Wizardos into that isn't Little Knight, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just like trying to do too much. For the extra deck, these are supposed to be thrusts. I don't have thrust apparently, or I'll let someone borrow them. I don't know where they are. I could have sworn I had thrusts. But thrusts, the Third Talents, Duster, Called By, 3 Slayer, And then the only hand traps are 3 Droll and 3 Lancia. And as you can see, these are literally just like board softening or like turn skips. So I feel like that's all you really need. You don't really need to stop your opponent from playing this format too much. Especially when you have a deck like this that's just like all gas, no brakes, can push through. Feels really, really good. Especially going second when you summon Ame and you keep making them discard. Like, the first discard is like really not a big deal, but like in a mid-game scenario where you're making them discard like every turn, this just gets sickening. It feels so broken because they run out of cards very quickly, especially when you're like Raigekiing them and ripping cards out of their hand constantly or negating them. It just feels wild. So yeah, that's the deck. And again, I have a match online that I want to show you because I think it really exemplifies why I like this deck so much. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Okay, so here is the match that I wanted to show you guys. Let me move my my face here. So yeah, as you can see, YCS 2025 champion and me. He's 1200 rated. I'm only 700 right now. But point is, this is like a high rated game. I forget who this is specifically, but yeah. So just go ahead and jump into the actual game. I win the rock paper scissors. Thank God, makes it a lot easier. But yeah, so as you can see, he has Nib in hand. Yeah, so we're gonna play this in again. I probably misplay here a couple times. I'm not positive, but we were able to go into the Bellstar line first to be able to set up the Silvera. And again, we're just setting up the Ritual. That's all that matters. So we're going to go Night Sword Serpent and Kusanagi so we can get Ritual and the Serpent. And of course, we are like insulated here. Be able to use the Ritual again for ammo, get back, set. And we are just like kind of loaded here already. Use Wanted to put back and draw a card. So we're going to get just another copy of Wanted. Pitch that. Get another copy of Deception because it's literally free. Use that, go into IP and pass. At the end of his main phases, he uses Nib just to try to get rid of the Silvera. But this is a really cool interaction where you get to use the Silvera in the main phase, and then you get to use the Hollowed, because I never used it. I didn't go Ryzeal line, and then to put back the Silvera, and then I just tell him, like, I'm just going to flip up the Deception, use Hollowed, bring back out Silvera, and then just reset Deception. So, did nothing. Like, that Nib did literally nothing. I still end on all my interruptions. If you go Ammo, they can just discard the Nib and then just clear the board. So there's no way that's ever happening. Like, you just use the Silvera to negate it, and we're in the same exact position we were in before. So, he's going to go X, discard Aggregator, and then negate Silvera. Grab Node, special summon Sword, and then I'm going to use Ammo, make him discard. He grabs Ice, of course discards a Nib. At Resolution, I'm going to use IP to go SP to banish the Sword. I want him to commit a little bit more. He specials Ice. I use the Food Stud to bring back the Raigeki, and then he just concedes from there because he knows we have the Trap card as well that we haven't even used yet. And I know his only last line of play is Node's effect. So he's going to go first here. He's going to go Bonfire, effect. I think I do a couple mess-ups here, if I remember correctly, that, like, I forget what time we played this. It was late, but I definitely, like, just do, like, some really, really sloppy lines. Or not sloppy lines, but I think I just do some accidentally legal stuff that we catch immediately. So he's just setting up the normal standard Ryzeal board. This is where I find out he's playing Mitsurugi also. I did not realize this. Of course, this changes a lot of stuff. So he's going to go for this. This is just, like, the full combo line here, because he has Ritual plus the spell. Goes for equips. This is like, he ends it kind of weird. He doesn't end on Detonator though. It's the only thing I noticed. If I remember correctly, there's no Detonator on the end board because these two would have made Detonator, but he chooses to make Dweller over Detonator, which I think is fair in the Mitsurugi mirror match. I don't think that's like the wrong choice. So he ends on this. I tried using my my turn player priority here for Metatronus on Dweller, which does bait out the trap, but now I am under Dweller unfortunately, and I can't really do anything about it. So now I have to try to, like, play kind of out of my mind here. Like, this is what I mean. I thrust for talents, and that was all in the draw phase. So that was just, like, my own mess up. And he actually just completely just doesn't, because he knows I have talents now, he just doesn't use anything. Like, he could be using this Ritual monster to bring back guys, and he just never does it. So here, I'm pretty sure I just get, like, absolutely cooked. Like, I clear most of the board, but I know his hand is just, like, complete follow-up, and he doesn't do anything else, so... I just go Little Knight, clear everything. He chains prayers. Doesn't use the effect in graveyard. I'm like, yeah, he's just like, just because I reveal talents, he's not gonna use anything, unfortunately. So again, that was kind of my own fault, but it is what it is. From here, he's going to go. I go first. I use Deception, tribute the Ritual monster, and then search the what's it called, Saji. Now, the reason I search Saji here is because this gives me the most chances with talents to be able to draw into anything, because now Saji equals anything in the deck because of prayers. So if I draw into prayers, I can go Saji for the ritual spell, prayers for a ritual monster, or vice versa. If I draw the ritual spell, I can Saji for prayers, prayers for the ritual monster. No matter what, I get it. So any other Mitsurugi card, I get it. That's the main thing. Even if I draw like another level 4 reptile, I can still go Saji for ritual spell, bring out one from deck, and just go from there. That also like completely works. So just something to keep in mind. So Saji was definitely just like the correct choice here. So I just go talents for the draw 2, and we hit prayers and another Saji. I was like, ooh, that's super good. Like, we're super in there now. So we get to go Saji effect, and then he is gets played into the prayers imperm line. So he gets absolutely cooked on this one to be able to go resolve the Sanji now and the prayers. So Saji's going to grab ritual, and then prayers is going to grab the monster. And then from here, we can just go ritual from hand, dumping 2. And then we were able to use the Kusanagi in graveyard and the worm to be able to add back the ritual. And then we can overlay for Dweller, use the ritual spell, and then use Ambo in graveyard to be able to special it back out. But he does bestial it. We still get the search still for purification. It's completely fine. Now, I probably could have changed the way I did this to make a better M board. I wasn't really sure because he stopped the section already with Ash Blossom, so I couldn't go for Hollowed. But this is where like maybe the other simple spoils would come up, where you can pitch or get the Book of Moon, I should say, because that card's not bad. But like this is still fine, right? I have Droll, I have the Trap card, I have Follow Up coming back off of what's it called, the Futso, and I can put him on a Dweller. Like I'm not worried about like losing the game at all. Like I'm gonna get another turn, and again, like that's the main thing, right? Like I'm sitting on Deception Witch and like a massive follow up from Mitsurugi as well. It's not even including the Trap card in the graveyard as well. Yeah, we're so ahead. Like we're so ahead. They can't do anything. Just being able to set up is just ridiculous. So he beats over the Dweller, it's fine, and I just like I just have everything. Like you can't stop me at this point. It's way too many things. So yeah, that's the deck. It's really fun. I really enjoy it. If you're like trying to avoid Ryzeals, but you want to play Mitsurugi, I really think this is like one of the best ways to do it. It's consistent. It goes. Again, it just has hard counters to like Droll and Shifter. Shifter's like not even like that hard. Like you can still play the Mitsurugi cards under Shifter, but like it just stops the deception stuff pretty heavily. So just something to keep in mind. But you can still attribute these to search. So like you get something, but you can't do like everything, if that makes sense. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Just something a little bit different, something that I get to play for fun now because Orlando is over. So if you have any suggestions, please leave them down below. I'd really appreciate it. And until then, I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.